Welcome back to the channel, Summoners. It's Slimeball, and as promised, I'm going over whether third-party apps in League of Legends are considered cheating. Before we get into this, be sure to drop a like if you enjoy the content, and consider subscribing if you are new. In my research, I have discovered two more apps to use while in-game for League of Legends: Senpai, Senpai AI, or whatever the fuck you call it, and FaceCheck. So apart from Blitz, Professor, and Mobalytics, there are two more apps that I will be reviewing in the upcoming weeks. Let me know in the comments which app you want a review of first. Before we get into how each app works and whether or not it is approved, we have to check out what Riot says about using in-game apps. I read their terms of service. You know what I'm talking about, the giant-ass list of shit that we all claimed we read before we started playing the game. Yeah, that thing. I read it. If you are watching this video, you owe me a like just for that, so reach back like a pimp and slap that like button. Now, the terms of service states, and I quote, "Using any unauthorized third-party programs, including mods, hacks, cheats, scripts, bots, trainers, and automation programs that interact with the Riot services in any way for any purpose, including any unauthorized third-party programs that intercept, emulate, or redirect any communication relating to the Riot services, and any unauthorized third-party programs that collect info about the Riot services by reading areas of memory used by the Riot services to store info." Okay, holy run-on sentence. 4 out of 5 English teachers just threw up in their mouths. I'll break this down in just a second. I gotta Google something. I was going to give Riot the benefit of the doubt on some translation errors. Nope. The public schools in LA must suck. Let me break this down into something that can be understood. What we have here is a list of shit we don't care about, and one thing that we do, and a few conditionals for if these apps are allowed or not. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that these apps are considered trainers. That would mean using an unapproved trainer would make your account subject to termination. Did anyone catch that conditional though? Unapproved is the key word. Are these apps approved? Before we get into that though, check out how the terms of service state that it must also collect information about League of Legends and read areas of memory. It has the conditional unauthorized again, but unauthorized is a condition at the start of the entire sentence, meaning that they really want to stress just how much you cannot use any unauthorized apps. They say it twice when they only had to say it once. This shit is the reason that people, at least in America, say English is the hardest language to learn. Bullshit. People learn it incorrectly and then claim that they are fluent and confuse the hell out of anyone trying to learn it. If anyone says, "I'm doing good," it's improper English. "I'm doing well" is proper English. One is an adverb and one is an adjective. Take that shit to the bank. It applies in Spanish too. You don't refer to yourself as bueno, you refer to yourself as bien. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk about how people suck at speaking their own language. And no, slang does not count as proper. Regardless of how poorly the terms of service were written, the condition still applies, meaning that authorized trainers are not considered cheating and will not result in a ban or termination of your Riot account. So, are apps like Blitz, Professor, Mobalytics, FaceCheck, and Senpai approved? Well, let's take a look at Overwolf apps first. We can get into Blitz and Senpai later. G2 Esports uses Professor, meaning that a professional esports team in the spotlight of Riot and everyone who watches esports uses this app. It does not seem to me that an esports team would survive very long if they were using unauthorized apps to enhance their gaming abilities. In fact, in an interview with the creator of Professor, he says, quote, "I'm making the app for all League of Legends players. It's also awesome when you have great feedback from random users, and in particular, when those users are very famous or top-tier users." End quote. So it seems to me that Professor, an Overwolf app, is in the clear, and it appears to be authorized without having any direct information stating this from Professor. But what about the rest of the Overwolf apps? Oh, look at that. I was able to find a tweet from Overwolf addressing this direct question. Overwolf says, quote, "It's not cheating as nothing is automatic. The app was even approved by Riot Games. All the Overwolf apps have to go through them in order to get access to their Riot API. We have a direct confirmation from Overwolf that all of its apps are approved and acknowledged by Riot. It is pretty ignorant to assume that all of the apps like Overwolf, Professor, Blitz, etc. are all under Riot's radar. Clearly they know about them and would probably be shutting down users by the thousands if they were not allowed. Riot Games clearly is not that ignorant. Not only is Overwolf approved, they are in direct communication with Riot Games about using their API and getting you the most accurate information possible. While Riot does not endorse using any of these apps, they certainly are not discouraging you from using them in any foreseeable way. For those of you keeping track at home, Mobalytics, Professor, and FaceCheck are all authorized as trainers by Riot Games and therefore fall outside of their terms of service prohibition. Now what about Blitz? We'll get to Senpai after. Blitz tweeted about this issue claiming, using Blitz has never been a bannable offense. Blitz also addresses the issue on their website, claiming, quote, "We're totally Riot compliant. You will not get banned for using Blitz since it doesn't give you any advantages in-game. You will still have to play like everyone else. In fact, many Rioters are using Blitz too. We talk with Riot before developing any major features and make sure that they are okay with what we are doing. Read more here." I clicked the link so you wouldn't have to. It takes you to League of Legends support page where it says, quote, "No software should interfere directly with the in-game player experience from when you press play to the end of game screen." It goes on to say, "We don't like applications that provide measurable player advantage. We'd like to set fair expectations by calling out some features that definitely aren't okay. Some examples of measurable player advantage: exposing information that's intentionally obfuscated, cooldowns or timers, taking actions on your behalf, botting or scripting, drawing conclusions for you, predicting enemy positions, altering your field of intelligence, zoom hacks, or global ult alerts." Riot is very detailed in what determines cheating versus non-cheating. They also spell out punishment as, quote, "Suspensions for the use of third-party applications can vary in length depending on the severity of the offense, up to a permanent suspension for consistent blatant use. If these applications were used to gain ratings in ranked, we may also remove the account's ranked rewards for the season." In simple terms, you cheat, you get fucked. Guidelines for what is considered cheating are as follows. Some third-party applications offer multiple services, some of which may fall within acceptable territory. If that application offers any unauthorized services, using it at all will still result in the loss of your account. Using an app that allows you to cheat means you are once again fucked. So, if you have hesitations about using Blitz, then calm down. Blitz claims that they are compliant, and as an added bonus, they admit in a tweet to using Riot's API as well, meaning that Riot approves of them and gives them the information needed for their update. Keep in mind that this tweet also gives information about why Blitz doesn't always have the most up-to-date information. If you subscribe to the channel, you probably remember when I mentioned this in my Blitz versus Professor comparison. Now we know why, and we know Blitz is Riot approved. And last, we come to Senpai. Now if I'm saying that wrong, let me know in the comments. Senpai on their website claims, Senpai GG does not get you banned, does not put your account at risk, and is completely safe. Senpai GG works with the APIs provided by the game developers and publishers. Senpai GG applies for these APIs by presenting case studies to explain its projects. If approved by the mentioned companies, Senpai GG uses these APIs to collect players' data, analyze them, offer tips, tricks, guides, or other solutions. This means that Senpai does not use any API that is not approved by Riot itself. Therefore, it is authorized by Riot Games. Senpai goes on to say, "Our entire operation is legal." Okay, I'm going to stop right there. That is exactly what an illegal operation would say, but from what I can tell, there does not appear to be any problem with using it. So, every app or company mentioned is Riot compliant and approved by Riot. The proof is that these companies all use League of Legends APIs. Now, I have been ranting about this for way too long. If you made it this far, drop a like and comment and subscribe for more League of Legends content.
There's always a trail. Killing spree. Demacia is counting on us. Demacia. An ally has been slain.
An enemy has been slain.
Just like hunting for a trophy.
You have slain an enemy. You have been slain.